Pikachu had just like stood up and was like, "Hey there, Pikachu,
Hey,
Mr. Pikachu,
what's
Senior
up?
Director of Sales in Western Canada. Nice to meet you." They're like, it's a narc, run! It's a cop! Hello and welcome to TKAD, that's To Kill A Delibird, the premier Pokemon anime rewatch podcast, where we look at Pokemon episodes, try to compare them to literature, movies, other media, and hopefully have some fun along the way. The two of us who are tackling this are myself, Graham, who, has explored other parts of media, anime, etc. Love myself a good video game, love myself a good classic novel as well. On the other hand, we want that Pokemon insight, and we're going to merge them together like peanut butter and jelly. Kellan, Pokemon Master, do you want to be the peanut butter or do you want to be the jelly?
Depends on what kind of jelly.
Go on.
Well, can it be my mother's raspberry jam?
I'll be the peanut butter, you be your mother's raspberry jam. So specific.
My mom makes a kick-ass raspberry jam. Just saying.
Raspberries are a goat. Raspberries are an S tier berry for sure.
I don't even really like raspberries.
Oh, really?
I don't like berries. I think it's mainly a texture thing. I'm good with the flavorings, but berry texture just doesn't do it for me.
No offense, but that's fucking weird. I would say berries are pretty top tier. Like, they're just like little bursts of flavor.
What I've heard? Yeah, I'm a strange one.
Well, me too. And that's why we started a Pokemon podcast.
May not have been the greatest idea, but hey, we're having fun.
It's not the greatest idea, but it's up there.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
But guess what?
What?
This is the 18th episode of the podcast.
Cool.
The podcast is legal.
Gross. That's a gross joke. Well, it can drink in some provinces.
Yep. It can drink in Mana Toilet.
In Alberta.
That's what my grade 12 social studies teacher calls Manitoba, and I agree with him.
Yeah, the rest of the country really dunks on Manitoba. Like, I remember the rhinoceros party of Canada, that, like, joke party that wanted beautiful. To pave Manitoba into the world's biggest parking lot.
They should have done that.
Manitoba's okay.
It's
the same as the rest of them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But we need something to dunk on, or else we're worse.
Well, that's why small towns will always have these rivalries. It's the corner gas thing, right? Where Dog River spits at Woolerton. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That's right. And every small town, and even actual cities in the Canadian prairies have these feuds, right? It's like Edmonton and Calgary in Alberta just like inexplicitly hate each other for no good reason. It's like just get along.
That sounds about right.
Well, you know what else sounds about right? Are when I try to talk about stupid podcasts.
Hell yeah.
Does that
my
sound
favorite part
right?
of the week?
Does it sound
I look
wrong?
forward to it all the time.
Well, I was thinking a lot about electricity, okay? One of the episodes that we're going to be reviewing today is about computers, AI, kind of cyberpunk future, and we'll definitely talk about those concepts. But there are a lot of podcasts on technology and AI and stuff, like a lot of real podcasts. So that's really not that fun of an area to dive into, you know? When reality is too real, is that fun? Not
that's
for
just
us
every day.
Yeah, I know. We're creating our own fun time realities. So
reality.
Gotta dig into more fundamental pieces. And what's more fundamental to the concept of technology than electricity? And that's when I realized that if you were getting shocked by an electric outlet, our podcast would be fine to listen to.
Would it?
Well, I guess. It wouldn't help, but it wouldn't hurt.
I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to test that theory.
No, me neither. Completely speculative. Don't try this at home, folks.
Don't stick a fork in the toaster.
Oh, definitely not.
Putting that out there.
So I looked into other podcasts with electricity in the title or that are about electricity in some sort of way, okay? And my first one, this is a bit of a mouthful, bit of a doozy. We got a podcast called Russian Doll Metaphor Titles 3, Electric Boogaloo 2, Electric Boogaloo.
What?
Do I gotta repeat that? Russian Doll Metaphor Titles 3, Electric Boogaloo 2, Electric Boogaloo. I'm not gonna explain that joke. You'll get it someday.
I don't think I will.
You will. Next
I
joke.
don't think so.
I can't call them jokes. Next title. Next title.
Yeah, these are very real podcasts.
Real,
what are you talking
real
about?
podcast. Keys and kites, powering your house like Benjamin Franklin. So these are old school electrical tricks.
Do they get me off the power grid? Does it make me have to not pay a power bill anymore?
Yeah, you can stop bowing to the man.
Sweet.
You can stop that government from controlling your life, dude.
Hell yeah.
Benny Franklin has nothing to do with governments, right?
He wasn't like a founding father or anything, I think, right?
Not that I know of. And I know very little about this next podcast as well, called Lightning in a Bottle, Fun Activities That Will Likely Kill You. Can we actually get lightning into a bottle? We'll see.
I don't know if that would be allowed to be published.
Yeah, well, it is, because these are real. Yeah. Number 4, Electrocution, Life and Love for the Chronically Shocking. This is ran by the Spider-Man villain Electrocution. He has a podcast where he speaks to other people who are either shocked constantly or can shock about how to find love in this weird and wacky world. And then a similar sort of interview podcast. This is my final one here. Thunder Shocked, Life on the Receiving End. Do you want to guess who runs this podcast?
Oh, I believe that would be Jesse and James.
They're chronic guests. It's actually Pikachu, who has felt bad. This is old man Pikachu. He feels bad after post-career and is finding people that he zapped and is interviewing them to try to make amends.
So that's what he's up to now that his anime is done.
Old man Pikachu. Thunder Shocked.
Well, I got one other thing
I
want to ask you about. You probably know where I'm going with this.
Pokemon Black and White.
Yeah, where are you?
I beat this. I'm in like a mountain kind of thing. That probably doesn't help.
Is it snowy?
Okay, well, there's like a couple snowy mountains, right? I defeated the 6th gym. I defeated the air gym. So there's this gym in this video game that's like cannons, and you like go into them and blast to different levels, and it's like in a giant airplane hangar.
Yep.
Anyways, I beat that person.
Okay.
That was pretty fun. Looked cool. I really like the graphics in this game, actually. That DS era kind of faux 3D sort of thing.
You like the part where you shoot out of the cannon and your character just like smacks into a wall?
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Just falls down. Well, watching this show, like, these people are just hardy. They're always getting knocked around.
Mm-hmm. Could you tell me what your team is like? What's on your team?
Sure. So I've got this weird dog with these super long, glorious hair.
Stoutland.
Named Lena. I have
that's a Stoutland.
Some kind of water otter freak
named Samurott.
Oh, Lucy. That's named Lucy.
Your starter.
I have like a giant rat named Splinter.
Oh, Watchog, really?
Splinter. No, his name's Splinter. I don't know what you're saying. Who else do I have?
He's got like a safety vest on, it looks like.
Sure. Yeah. Splinter. And then I've got like a fire monkey.
Oh, it's a Messir.
What did I name him?
I don't know.
I named him like Magma or like Too Hot or something like that. Hot stuff.
Hot monkey.
Yeah, I think I named him Hot Stuff or something like that. I have an electric zebra, a glorious big electric zebra.
Zebstrika. That's a cool one. Named
Linda. That one's named Linda. Then I have a bird named Lunch.
Probably on pheasant.
Yeah, it's lunch for my cats.
Like he's just a regular ass bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on pheasant or tranquil, depending on how far you are.
I don't know about any of these names. Lunch. His name's Lunch. That's a good name, right?
Sure.
I name every Pokemon I get, even just to like learn less about the Pokemon, since we're not anywhere near there in the anime. Even when I catch Pokemon, I'll give them names like I don't know, just like random celebrities I think of too, like Regis or something.
I've been doing. I finished a Nuzlocke. I didn't finish. I lost it. I lost a Nuzlocke of Black recently.
Okay.
And I started one in White too. Lately, I've been into the trend of naming all of my Pokemon after one of the words in their dex entry.
Oh, so you bring up the dex entry and you just can only pick one word.
Yeah, or something derivative of that word.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like it's easy. I don't have to really think then.
I've seen some of your streams though, and I know that you've done ones that are kind of themed. Like we'll go with like snacks, let's say, and name them all snacks. Kind of like an Android developer.
Mm-hmm.
How they name version stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people do naming themes.
I remember,
it makes it easier.
I remember because in high school, I was obsessed with like classic metal and rock. So I remember trying to name all the Pokemon I caught in one after members who had been in Black Sabbath or related bands. Which like how inbred some of these rock groups are. You could get quite deep actually. Like I had a Gyarados named Dio, which is like, come on, that's amazing for rock fans and JoJo fans. So 2 rocks, one Gyarados. Didn't even know.
You said you were into rock and metal, and my mind immediately went, "Oh yeah, I've done some where I named Pokemon after gemstones."
Oh, you're lame, dude.
But it's because of that I always name my Pidgeots Amber. I don't know. I think that's a very fitting name.
Is it?
I think so.
Do they look amber? I mean, it's also a human name.
Yeah, I like it for Pidgeot.
I like that theme too, but I think it's pretty funny that you were like, "Oh, a geological theme. Let me push up my glasses."
Hey, rocks are cool. Shut up.
Rocks are neat. Okay.
All right, let's get to the episodes.
Let's get to it.
We've been here for like 10 minutes already.
A lovely 10 minutes.
So today we're taking a look at 2 more episodes. It's episode 38, Electric Soldier Porygon, which was a banned episode, and 39, Pikachu's Goodbye. These are some good episodes.
Really good. Yeah.
These are very good episodes.
I'm on board. Two different episodes, too. We start with sort of like a weird they're both kind of bottle episodes. Like they're both filler. And we'll get into sort of the hows and whys of that, because there's some people have had theories, about these episodes.
So let's jump into the first episode of today. It's Electric Soldier Porygon. This is the episode that caused over 700 Japanese people to suffer from seizures, vomiting, irritable eyes, or other related symptoms due to the flashing light effects used in said episode, which led this episode to be banned globally and sent the anime on a 4-month hiatus.
Yeah, and could you tell when watching this episode? Like, I would say yes. There were definitely parts that were like, I looked away, that were just like, oh, that's kind of painful.
It's absolutely very obvious where
if
it happened.
If you're photosensitive, like, it would not be good.
Because it fills the screen for one point. Like, there's a lot of background flashes, but there is one point where it just fills the entire screen for a few seconds, and it's... Yeah, how did that get past anyone?
I think that this episode was actually a pretty pivotal turn in being more aware of photosensitivity in animation, period. Like, I believe The Simpsons and South Park have both done parodies about this scandal for Pokemon.
So, to open the episode, the gang is now in Matcha City, which is another town that I've never seen in the games. But whatever.
And it violates the theme, right? Like the naming theme is colors or color related stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
but all of these
anime, type of tea.
All of these anime exclusive cities don't
violate
seem to follow
the theme.
it.
Yeah, like Gringy.
Yeah, Gringy, Sunny. Yeah, it's not something they followed in the anime. But Pikachu is very tired, and he's drinking tea like an old man.
Yeah, he's old man Pikachu is revealed in this episode. That is the old man that does the podcast. The Thundershock podcast. Yeah. He's got this old man robe and a very wise, tired face.
So they take him to the center, but Joy is having some issues. There's a whole thing going on with the transfer system. Pokemon are being transferred.
So many calls.
Are not arriving.
Yeah, so the transfer system, some kind of electronic device that you can send Pokemon from Pokecenter to Pokecenter. That's kind of the idea.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't think it's the same as like the box system.
No, I don't think so.
But it's just, it's transferring Pokemon from center to center for, like, medical reasons.
And the issue is that it's not just that all Pokemon are kind of being lost, but any rare Pokemon is being swapped out for, like, cheap Pokemon. We see an example of a Magikarp. Yeah. So there's all kinds of complaints coming in.
The guy who built it, we meet him. He's, what's his name? Akihabara?
Yeah, Akihabara. Do you know what Akihabara is?
No.
It's the nerd capital of the world. It's a place in Tokyo. It's where you go for like anime figurines, and it's I actually have a Super Famicom that I bought in Akihabara. The kind of most infamous retro gaming store in Akihabara is called Super Potato. And Super Potato is like a 5-story retro gaming shop. And retro gaming in Japan is interesting because it's not, there's a bit of a scene, but it's not nearly like here. Like here, there's this big collector sort of mindset and things are very expensive, right? Like there, you can get like the Super Nintendo with like, and I got a bunch of good games. I got Zelda, I got Mario Kart, I got Super Mario World, and I spent like, now I had a second controller, and I spent like $60.
Huh.
Yeah.
So are you saying that it would be worth my money, instead of buying a copy of Pokemon Black 2 here for $160, to travel to Japan to find one?
No, but there's people that export. So there is if you look online, you can probably find some export services. I know there was someone doing it outside from Osaka. And then what they'll do is they'll align with people that go to like the traveling comic conventions that do come to Canadian cities. And so if you look online, you might be able to find something there. I think DS stuff is region locked. No, the original DS isn't region locked, but the 3DS is.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah. So look into that too. No. I'm sure of this. I have import games for DS, but for 3DS, it's region locked.
That's dumb.
Well, yeah, it's unfortunate. But Black 2 is a DS game, right? So that's region free. Because
it's the only Gen 5 game I'm missing. The only DS game I'm missing.
I have Jump Ultimate Stars. That was a game which is like the Jump manga Super Smash Brothers clone. Remember me and my friends buying those as import games. And they're completely in Japanese. So we had to like print off like translations like on paper that explained how to navigate the menus. Good times. But yeah, that's Akihabara.
So Akihabara, the character, sees something and he goes running off. Ash doesn't understand how a computer can catch a cold.
And him and Pikachu are imagining like a demon tormenting a computer, and the computer's like tucked into bed. And then they talk about vaccine programs. So a concept in the show is that the computer has a virus, you inject a vaccine program, and it beats the virus. Okay.
This is very realistic, right? I don't know anything about computers.
I should, but yes, this is 100% realistic. And so we see in Ash's imagination Joy needling the computer. A good little cartoon gag.
I don't think I should inject my PC with some Pfizer, right?
No, PCs only take Moderna.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, idiot.
Oh, sorry.
So Professor Akihabara is an interesting fella too. He's got these like big glasses with like swirls on them. What is with that in cartoons where characters have glasses with like swirly animation on that? Like it's what are they even trying to represent with that?
I don't know. There's a character in one of the GameCube Pokemon games that has those same glasses, and I don't get it.
It's almost just like the nerd stamp. They're like, hey guys, this is a nerd. And you're like, okay.
So
you like nerds.
Ash and the gang goes to follow to Akihabara's house. And did you notice this map that they were given?
No, not really.
It's just a paper with a picture of Joy, and then it's like a line that points like down to the left and up to the left or whatever, just a line pointing to where Akihabara's house is. And Ash finds the house somehow. It's a very rudimentary map, and I love it.
Just like a map with no features on it, and just like Joy here, Professor there. Go.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good.
So they break into the house, and they're greeted by a giant Akihabara who tries to eat them.
Yeah, a giant polygon face representation of him. Like polygonal in the sense of like Andros from like Star Fox for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Or kind of like, what's that Brain Age guy? Remember those Brain Age
Dr.
games? I don't remember his name, but he looks like the Brain Age guy, right?
Kawashima? Now I gotta look it up.
Oh, it doesn't really matter.
It matters to me.
Mr. Brain Age.
Yeah, Ryutu Kawashima.
Kawashima, nice.
Can't believe I remembered that. Jesus.
I'm surprised. So it's like a security system, I guess, but we find out that this giant face is just a hologram that the prof is kind of controlling and talking through. Because Pikachu shocks the giant face, but it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he like breaks apart and then goes back together. Like, haha, you thought, bitch.
But you thought nothing. You cannot shock me. I will not be in the future on your podcast because I have not been thunder shocked.
So yeah, the robot leads them into this giant tank This room with a giant tank, and they're told to just get in the tank, and they just follow the order.
Get in the robot, Shinji.
They don't think about anything. It's a machine for sending Pokeballs. It's like the machine that he created.
But it's like a giant version of it.
And then we see Porygon for the first time.
So he shows up in the tank, right? And he's saying, like,
Yes.
I created this thing. It's like a virtual Pokemon.
So Porygon is like this polygonal duck thing.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a computer program is what it's supposed to be.
He looks like from this era of video games when they were like really first experimenting with 3D. So I'm thinking like Virtua Racing for the Sega 32X in arcade, where it's like or Star Fox actually. So there's like early what was that chip called?
32X?
No, that's a Sega one. The Nintendo one was the Super FX chip, I think.
Yeah.
Super FX. Yeah, that sounds right. So there were a couple of games there, and Star Fox was one of them. It was like this early 3D where it's like it's polygons, but not that many, and no texture mapping. Like they're basically just solid colors that are on the polygons, and that's kind of what Porygon's supposed to be emulating, right? I think he's supposed to be like, hey, what if that early 3D technology was a Pokemon?
Yeah, he's the Pokemon that probably looks the best in Pokemon Stadium.
Oh, yeah. Because he's so easy to render.
Yeah. Akihabara explains the whole situation from a remote location. People are stealing Pokemon from inside the software. There's people inside the computer. What?
I'm down with it. With it.
What?
We'll learn a bit more about what goes into that, but yeah, someone has stolen a prototype version of Porygon as well, and has gone into the computer world, and this is where Akihabara spills the beans. He's like, look, at the Poke Center, they could just put in the vaccine program. I stopped them because the vaccine program will kill whoever went into the computer. Yeah,
and you would think a guy that's like this kind of crazy as he is would be fine with that.
What? Why?
Someone's fucking with his machine.
Nah, he's got a line. He's got a line.
Whatever.
He's not a murderer. He's just an eccentric.
We learn, of course, it's Team Rocket, right?
Yeah, who else would it be?
Who else would it be? Who else but Team Rocket?
Even though at the start of every episode, when things start going wrong, the gang is like, who could this be? And then it's always Team Rocket.
So Akihabara forces a group of children to go into the digital world without any precedent for anyone being able to come back.
He's like, you'll do it. This stuff works.
But it's for science.
See
so that's okay.
And that's what this big tank they were in is essentially for. He's been experimenting with like a human-sized transfer system. This could revolutionize the world. We could be zipping and zapping people through electric currents, through the internet, to get from Tokyo to New York in an instant.
God, wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, amazing. Not having to fly, but being able to travel? Oh my God, that's incredible.
So yeah, they get zapped in, and they fall through the digital world, but Porygon grows to a really big size and saves them. They have to follow the network highway that transfers the balls to find Team Rocket.
I love this virtual world. It is that sort of eerie, off blue kind of look, and then there's there was almost this collective agreement in the late 90s and early 2000s that if we are visualizing the internet, there's a certain color palette that we would use. So it's like neon green, neon pink, and then like a navy blue background. And everyone just agreed. Like I'm actually replaying the Mega Man Battle Network games because the collection came out on Switch. And that was a series I liked a lot when it came out. I was sort of a preteen. And it's all about the same idea of like going into the internet and running around. And that's how it looks. That's the color tone. That's the color palette.
So we cut to Team Rocket for the first time this episode. They have a massive stash of Pokeballs.
Yeah, they've put up a stop sign in the virtual highway. Because this network is how Pokeballs are being sent. Like this is the transfer system. We're inside it. And
this whole thing is hilarious.
You just have to put up like construction signs like that you would put on a real highway, and that blocks the transfers.
Yeah, it's so dumb, and I love it.
Where did they even get these highway blocking signs?
They brought it in with them, obviously.
Yeah, that was pretty. This is a good scheme. Then they kind of thought this out a bit.
Yeah,
a bit.
So a little bit. The gang comes to them, and now it's fight time. Of course, Weezing does a smog to blind them as per usual. But Porygon uses his move Conversion to become a poison type and knocks it right out. Not like poison is super effective against poison, but whatever.
This is cool though. So his skin turns and in this battle, Meowth yells a cool line, "Show your courage in the electronic world." Nice, Meowth. I like it. And when Porygon uses conversion, he's texture mapping. So we talked before with this early 3D where they were just like polygons without textures. And then when he uses conversion, he's just texture mapping. So he's like turning on one of his shaders. He's like going to the GPU settings. It's beautiful.
Yeah, he mimics Weezing. Knocks out Weezing, and then Porygon, or Jessie, has her own Porygon. The Porygon they seem to have stolen.
Porygon 0. Porygon Alpha, if you will.
So it's Porygon v Porygon, and they transform into all these different things. Like,
and we can tell them apart because the Porygon 0 has like an R flag on the back. They've stuck a flag on it, so that was nice.
And a little 0 on its head as well.
And Ash calls their Porygon the real Porygon, which is like, Ash is actually, he's a 10-year-old boy. And which makes sense. This is the time I see kind of his youth is he's constantly wanting to look at the world black and white. Like there's reals and fakes. There's right and wrong. You know, there's Pokemon and non-Pokemon. Like he doesn't have a lot of nuance to how he views the world. And I see that even through his language. Like when he says, "This is the real," they're both as real. You know,
Team Rocket's Porygon transforms into like a spear or a lance or something, and our Porygon transforms into a shield, and theirs transforms into a hammer. It's all cool. I wish we could have seen a little more of this kind of thing.
Yeah, if they start transforming into like tanks and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, what I thought at first, I actually thought the Team Rocket one transformed into a sword, and then that would be foreshadowing to Pokemon Sword and Shield 20 years later.
So the gang has to take this opportunity while Team Rocket is distracted to restore the network highway. All they have to do to fix this problem is push the barricade away.
I know, it's such a simple view of programming.
It's
like
hilarious.
Go into the computer, move the highway signs. I love it.
Yeah, they move the sign, and then suddenly the Pokeballs start flying across the highway one at a time again to their destination.
Yeah, that's all it is. So now they start zipping and zapping. And as soon as the obstructions are out of the way, the Pokeballs start moving really fast with this kind of like neon pale blue kind of effect. Looks nice.
So Team Rocket goes after them again. Pikachu does a shock, of course. Porygon, Porygon
this
takes
was
out
one
Porygon
of the
0.
first epileptic moments, right? Pikachu blasts them. And it's funny that one of the major epileptic incidents has nothing to do with the guest of the episode. It's nothing to do with Porygon. It's just our classic friend Pikachu.
Yeah, we'll get more into that near the end when the big ones happen. But yeah, this is the start, I think, of the flashing red and blue lights. Yeah, it's not as egregious as it gets, but it's still there.
So Team Rocket gets blasted away. They're not gone though. But they just get blasted further away from where they are, and the gang is restoring the network. But then the professor though flips out. And Professor Akihabara is still in communication with them. He's like, the Joy and team at the Poke Center are accessing the network. He's like, this could be a problem. Phones Joy. Joy has this salaryman of an IT person sitting there. He's been sent by the main center. I want to know more about that. Of course I would. I really want to know the logistics, centralization, and organization of this Pokemon world, both judiciously, can I even say that? Litigiously, as a government and as public services. And so Poke Centers are really interesting. It's like a public healthcare veterinarian program. But they have a main center. What is that? I don't know. They've sent this IT person with a strong vaccine. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, so they're trying to use this vaccine missile, not knowing that there are children in the program now. Yeah. But I love this because the vaccine program looks like a little ambulance.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's so cute. So the gang is informed that there's trouble. the vaccine's on the way, and if successful, will mean they can't go back to the real world because they'll be dead.
Die in the computer, die in real life.
Mm-hmm. So the vaccine program is a literal vaccine with needles and everything, like what we know as a vaccine, which is beautiful.
Yeah, like a medical vaccine. But it's like so it starts off looking like an ambulance sort of. It's like flying in ahead, but it has missiles. But it eventually breaks apart and it looks like a drone. It looks like a real life drone mixed with a needle vaccine.
Yeah, and so Team Rocket comes back, but the gang is on their way off, flying away from the vaccine missiles. They warned them of the impending doom, which they didn't have to do, but morals,
they have to do. Like, look, Team Rocket does some wrong things, but there is an obligation to still treat them like people. What is wrong with you? Do you believe in capital punishment? Go down to Texas.
So, the missile attacks Team Rocket's Porygon, then we get more of the light flashing.
Yeah, Jesse's freaking out. Are we gonna die inside of a PC? You might.
And an explosion knocks the gang off of their Porygon, but it saves them again, and they need to get to the transfer point to escape, is what we learn there.
The Poke Center is still, the IT person on the Poke Center is still monitoring this all, and just thinks the virus is really strong. Mm-hmm. Wow, we can't beat this virus. He thinks the people are the virus now.
So he launches this huge blast with even more flashing lights.
Yeah, I'll flip on the ultimate special beam cannon.
And it may crash the entire program, which would not be good.
No, and Joy's pissed off. She's like, look, fix the transfer program and never use that move again. Or I'll kick your ass, IT boy.
We go back to Team Rocket, and they're trapped in a hole, and their Porygon is knocked right out.
They fell into a bug hole. I don't know what that is, but is that a hole made by a bug, or is that a hole for bugs? Or is that like traps set out to catch viruses? I don't know. Could be
Ash
any of that.
wants to save Team Rocket because he's the moralist of the group. Yeah, but the vaccine missile is approaching again. It targets them, flashing lights, or targets Team Rocket, flashing lights. The bug hole is annihilated, but we get the reveal that Team Rocket at the last second was pulled out by Bulbasaur and his vines.
Yeah, and for those wondering, the Porygon's alpha had been knocked out already when they fell into the hole, so that's why they couldn't fly out. And so flying on the original Porygon V1, Mark 1, I don't know. Yeah, they pull him out just in time using Bulbasaur's whips. Very nice. Very good thinking. Quick thinking, Ash.
Yeah, and the vaccine missile comes back, locks onto the group, fires. Porygon is too weighed down, though. It can't go very fast.
Yeah, he's holding so many people.
And another Porygon, I think.
What? Yeah, I guess so.
So Pikachu hits the missiles with a big thunderbolt. This is where the big flashing light moment comes from. It fills up the screen for a few seconds, and then it fills about like 3/4 of the screen for a few more seconds. This is the big one.
And logistically, or I guess looking for a literal interpretation of what happens here is a little bit confusing. So there's a computer virus. There's a computer program known as a vaccine trying to kill virtualized people and Pokemon who they think of as viruses. One of the Pokemon, Pikachu, blasts the vaccine right when they're getting to the transfer point. The explosion sends them all through the transfer point, including the explosion. They get out, but the explosion follows them, blows up the equipment and the professor's house. I don't really understand what the heck is happening there.
You don't need to. It's just good TV.
It's just like the transfer point is just like a portal, right? Yeah.
It's like the explosion got bottlenecked and the pressure sent it right through and blew up the house as well.
It's just plumbing. Computers are just plumbing.
So in the aftermath, everything is destroyed. They're all back in the real world. Team Rocket thanks the group and runs off. They don't even try to steal Pikachu this time. They're grateful enough that they just leave.
They go, you'll see our true power. Being grateful. Thank you. Takes off.
And the transfer system is back to working well. Pikachu is still very fucking tired and needs to rest. And that's the episode.
There you go. Joy's going to heal him up.
It's a good episode.
And then the ending song is different from the last time I watched a Japanese episode. Last time was the Meowth ending.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch the ending song? Because it's weird as heck.
More than I did the Meowth one.
It's like these spinning kaleidoscopes of
Yeah.
Pokemon. Well,
So,
like
well,
a
it's
choir of
strange.
like an adult with a bunch of children is like singing like a conversation song. Like the
Mhm.
adult says a line and then the kids say a line and then it ends with them all saying like la 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 la. It was fucking weird. I was kind of into it, but
So
it was
there
weird.
are a list of things that this episode caused in the anime, and I want to go through that real quick. The kind of like the legacy of this episode.
Yeah, this is a bit of like a history look, right?
Yeah, so this episode is the only episode of the anime to be banned worldwide. Other episodes were banned in certain countries or were left remaining airing in Japan, but this is the only episode that was banned across the entire world. And because of this episode, the anime went on hiatus for 4 months. Every episode up to this one was edited retrospectively to change lights and fast flashing scenes, and the original edits of those episodes can't be seen anymore. It added a prologue to the first movie because scenes foreshadowing Mewtwo's appearance would not air before the movie was released as originally planned because of the 4-month hiatus. Porygon itself has never had another featured role in the anime. It's made background appearances in the first 4 movies and 1 episode that we'll see coming up soon, and that's it. Its signature move conversion has not been seen in the anime since this episode, and its other signature move conversion 2 has never been seen in the anime whatsoever.
This is crazy.
Porygon 2 has only been seen as stock art in the Johto Pokerap, and with Porygon Z in the opening of the 15th movie, where every Pokemon from Gen 1 to 5 are briefly shown in a Welcome to the World of Pokemon opening. And even then, it's basically a still. It's like barely animated. The Guinness Book of World Records gave the anime the title of Most Photosensitive Epileptic Seizures Caused by a Television Show, which is not a title you want.
What an award.
Yeah. And the official Pokemon Twitter, the official Pokemon Twitter tweeted on September 19th, 2020, Porygon did nothing wrong. That tweet has since been deleted. Porygon, as you noted, did nothing wrong. It was the scapegoat for these episodes. Pikachu is the one that caused the explosion, and Porygon took the fall for it all.
The official Pokemon Twitter tweeted Porygon did nothing wrong at what date?
Yeah. September 19th, 2020.
Oh, that's hilarious. I think that's a funny joke. I think that they just would, but
it's also true.
You can't do that from an official account.
But it's also true. Porygon didn't do anything.
Well, that was definitely an intern. That was definitely an intern who tweeted that, who was like, I'm going to go on the trend of like absurd internet deniers of certain egregious historical events and strangely compare Porygon to some kind of tyrannical despot.
Yeah. So yeah, because of Porygon being the featured Pokemon in this episode, even though he didn't do anything, it was Pikachu that caused the explosions. Porygon and its evolutions are never seen again.
So I'm interested in some of these points about how it impacted the production cycle. So I guess this has led to theories that there were episodes in pre and possibly mid-production cycle that never got aired. Like they did some complete rework on their planning.
I don't know anything about that theory.
Well, that
episodes were completely skipped over.
That's what that kind of sounded like when you said about the Mewtwo stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so what was supposed to happen was in some episodes of the anime that we will see, these episodes did air eventually, there are scenes that foreshadow the appearance of Mewtwo in the movie. And originally, according to the original airing schedule, those episodes were supposed to air before the first Pokemon movie with Mewtwo was released.
So it's not that they got ditched, it's just that they got pushed back.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So they were going to air before the movie released originally, but because of the hiatus, the movie got released before those episodes aired and thus needed a prologue with those scenes to kind of explain the situation, because you were supposed to know that beforehand anyway.
Okay, so they didn't remove anything. They did possibly add something, though. The next episode that we'll be reviewing, I read, might have not originally been planned to exist.
Yeah, it's strange, and we'll get there when we get to that episode, but we still have to go through the literary hour.
Oh, you want to do literary hour first? Okay, I thought we were
Yeah,
talking
let's
about
do that.
impact. Literary hour.
Yeah, let's do the literary hour and the four, and then we'll talk about the scheduling issues that happened with the next episode once we get to that episode. It's a little more relevant, I think.
Okay, so literary hour. So this episode is cyberpunk AF. You familiar with the cyberpunk genre? You probably are just because of like video game stuff nowadays. But like you're probably not familiar then with the origins, right? Like had you heard of cyberpunk as a genre before the video game started being a thing discussed?
I'd heard of it. I don't know much about it.
Okay, yeah, and you're not really into like sci-fi, television, short stories, that kind of stuff, are you?
No, not really.
Okay, well, I definitely am. And it really, one of the books, there was a bunch of sort of AI literature that I got into as like a young teenager. I say iRobot is one of kind of the ones that got me thinking about AI and technology a lot. But another book, it was I was in grade 9. A homeroom teacher, saw me reading sci-fi and fantasy and gave me this book called Neuromancer. So William Gibson's Neuromancer is often considered the first cyberpunk novel. Okay, it kind of like invented the genre. And if we want an easy definition of what cyberpunk is, and this isn't the end-all be-all, because as lots of genres, it becomes kind of fluid, and there's various different tropes that dominate it. But a simple definition is stuff where you can run around the internet. So and there's lots of media that came after this. There's a Keanu Reeves movie, I believe, called Johnny Mnemonic that kind of goes into this. And it's like you can put your consciousness onto the internet and sort of visualize it and see it. Now, Neuromancer is a pretty cool book about so there's an individual, they kind of run jobs and do crimes using the sprawling internet that you can kind of fuse your mind with and run information and stuff along. One of these people gets kind of a washed up hacker, gets pulled into this world. Washed up hacker is the phrase they use in Wikipedia, cite my sources. Gets pulled into sort of a seedy world of this, and eventually gets to meet kind of an artificial intelligence in that virtual world. I don't remember all the nuances of this book because I actually haven't read it since grade 9. But that those core concepts of our consciousnesses, virtual reality sort of fusing, also like AIs that purely exist in the simulated world. Is that a living being? Is that consciousness? Like, to what is Porygon a Pokemon? Like that. For Ash of all who's questioning the world, the philosophy of Porygon would have been far more interesting for him to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
Is Porygon a Pokemon? Like, is an AI a person, right? Is a super consciousness that exists in some virtual world a person? Is Porygon a Pokemon? This is the analogy, man. And I actually think that this is a solid comparison for once, because this was a cyberpunk episode. And the basis of cyberpunk literature, William Gibson's Neuromancer. And there's a lot of good cyberpunk novels. I gotta shout out Snow Crash. Have you heard of Neil Stephenson's Snow Crash?
No.
Snow Crash is badass. Okay, so it's a future where the U.S. has been taken over by corporations. So there's no American country anymore, and instead it's been carved up into these small corporately owned states. So you would say you would live in the country of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and Kentucky Fried Chicken would like take care of all of your safety, all of your health care, all of your housing. You would live in the city state of Kentucky Fried Chicken. And then it also has like a virtual reality where everything's like connected and that sort of thing. And the opening 50 pages of that book, because one of the main characters is employed by not the country of KFC, but the country of like Little Tony's Pizza Palace. And they have the greatest pizza delivery men in the world, because if their pizza delivery people don't get the pizza to the person in 30 minutes or less, you know how normally like there's those ads, if you don't get your pizza in 30 minutes or less, you get a refund. Well, in this world, if they don't get the pizza, they die. Yeah. So they're the most hardcore badass people ever. They got like superpowered cars and samurai swords, and yeah.
Now I want KFC.
I thought you were going to say, now I want to read Snow Crash. Dude, go read Snow Crash. It's badass.
I want chicken.
I want Snow Crash, baby.
All right. Are we going to rate this episode?
Yeah, how'd you like my literary hour? Should I ramble more? Should I ramble less?
You were right. It was a good comparison.
Ramble
Took you 18
on.
episodes, but you did it.
Oh. I'm not gonna acknowledge that. Okay, 4
right, 4. Today's first category will be the plot.
Oh, it's good. It's
a very interesting plot.
Kind of, yeah, it's a goofy plot, but it's fun. It's not connected to the bigger plot at all.
No, there's no.
But I like
major
it that
events.
it pulls the episode forward. It's also like less Deus Ex Machina than a lot of episodes. Like it does sort of follow through in its whole plot. It isn't like there's been other episodes where I'm like, how's this going to resolve in 2 minutes?
It's very kind of complicated. I find it funny because of the real life kind of metaphors or objects used for digital metaphors, like a vaccine program for a computer. It does not mean needles.
It's hilarious. Yeah,
it's great.
I agree. And it's sort of nice that it's the Poke Center is at the center of this because it allows them to use those medical metaphors and it sort of fits naturally. Like this is Joy's way of problem solving in some sense. And the Joy in this episode's pretty cool. Pretty good Joy.
I think I would go. I really like the story of this episode. I think it's very interesting. It's very different. I would say like 8.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with an 8. I was going there too. Actually, fuck you, it's a 2. This episode sucks. No, it's like we spend the whole time talking about it. By the end, I'm like, all right, 8. Let's go with it.
All right, and category number 2 will be silly Pikachu moments.
The old man Pikachu.
Old man
would
Pikachu.
Those are the silly Pikachu moments, really, right?
But then Pikachu's biggest moment tears it all down because he causes the light.
Yeah,
flashing.
That's not silly.
Pikachu, tisk tisk. How could you?
That's Pikachu bomber mission mode. That's Pikachu destroys a house again.
So it's like only the old Pikachu with the T, but it happens twice.
Yo, I bet you Ash would have a really hard time getting insurance. They'd be like, you still got that Pikachu with you? You'd be like, no. They'd be like, what's that Pokemon wearing a mustache disguise? That's my grandpa. That's a Pikachu.
I would say like 5, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not peak. Anything with a sleeping bag, that's peak.
Yeah.
Name a more iconic duo than Pikachu and sleeping bags.
So that is a 6.5 for Electric Soldier Porygon.
Woohoo!
All right, let's move on to the next episode, which is Pikachu's Goodbye. And so there's some weird scheduling shit because of the Porygon episode and with this episode. Because of the hiatus, 2 episodes that were originally going to air, Holiday Hijinks and Snow Way Out, which, spoiler alert, we'll be talking about next week, were pushed back. And we're going to air either directly before this episode or directly after this episode. But I can't find a concrete way of saying, or a concrete source in one way or the other.
Yeah.
So technically, if you want to go technical, because we're kind of going off of the original Japanese intended airing schedule for this podcast, technically this might be wrong that we're doing this episode here instead of after the next 2, but I don't know. If I'm wrong, I really don't know.
It's nicer to keep the 2 holiday episodes together.
That too, yeah.
But yeah, I have seen various interpretations of the episode numbering. Like Pokeflix and Bulbapedia have contradictory orders, but that's not a big deal.
Yeah, and
it does look like this episode. I mean, there's even some conjecture that this episode was something they made during the hiatus. I don't know if that makes sense though, but
yeah, it wasn't included in the original broadcasting schedule before the Porygon episode.
Yeah, and so it's like something they did as like a sorry.
Yeah,
they're like, look. We made a mistake. To make it up to you, the public, we're going to give you an episode with like 45 Pikachus in it. We know that's what the people want.
Well, to add on to that, when this episode originally aired in Japan, there was a spot at the start where a human came on and explained the whole Porygon incident and thanked the fans for writing in their letters of support and whatnot.
So that's not a wild theory then.
No, I don't think so. And They explain what happened, causes, how it happened, and how it's not going to happen again. And how I think talked about how they went back and edited old episodes to be cautious about it. And yeah, this was the first episode that aired when the anime came back from its hiatus.
That makes a lot of sense then, that this was sort of a thank you and an apology to fans. I think that this episode especially is like a love letter to, I don't know the PCOA is saying this, but kind of like the normie fans. Like it's not the most hardcore episode, but like if you've got a connection to Pokemon, even some kind of casual aspect, like this is what it's about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's all about Pikachu, baby.
It's all about Pikachu. So Pikachu is goodbye. Yeah, so we start the episode. We're taking a break. The gang's taking a break in a quiet forest. We see Pikachu up in a tree eating apples. You know, the gang is kind of lounging. Brock and Misty are lounging. Ash swings in singing Kanga, Kanga, Kangaskhan from a vine. He's pretending to be a monkey boy. He's pretending to be Kanga or Tomo from a various episode. But he's George of the Jungle?
Yeah, it's something. He smacks into a tree. So.
Yeah, and Misty yells, Watch out for that tree! Which was from George of the Jungle.
So Pikachu sees
for that tree.
Pikachu sees another Pikachu, but it runs off. He follows it. The whole gang follows Pikachu, and they find a giant group of Pikachu, and it's way too cute.
Like 50 Pikachu in an open meadow are just frolicking.
Oh, I love
playing, eating apples. Pikachus love apples, eh?
I guess so.
What kind of animal in real life eats apples?
Horses?
Yeah, horses eat apples. But I don't think mice don't eat apples, do they?
They eat peanut butter.
Oh, they love peanut butter. I catch so many mice with peanut butter. Sorry, Pikachu.
So the group of Pikachu alerts themselves to this other strange Pikachu. He tries to introduce himself, but they all run off. And
so
it's
sad.
So sad. It's so sad.
The wild Pikachu run the other side of the meadow. Pikachu had just like stood up and was like, "Hey there, Pikachu, hey, Mr. Pikachu, Senior Director of Sales in Western Canada. Nice to meet you." And they're like, "It's a narc, run! It's a cop."
So a baby Pikachu comes up to him. And they do this really cute little tail handshake thing. They touch tails
like
and
sniff at each other and then shake hands with their tails. They're almost cat-like for a moment, right? Like how they approach with the sniffing. Very cute and kind of realistic. Like, oh, they're animals.
So knowing that this Pikachu is not a threat to their group, the others come back in. And then Ash, not being able to read the room, runs in wanting to be a part of the group as well. Ash, you're not a fucking Pikachu.
Well, he can't read rooms. I don't even know if he can read.
I doubt he can read. If he could, he might know some of the moves.
Yeah, Pokemon he might have read the Pokedex.
Yeah. So Ash doesn't get why they're scared of him either. Come on, Ash. How context clues?
Yeah, Brock kind of has to explain like why wild animals are scared of humans to Ash. And we realize that this place, they call it a Pikachu paradise. Like the open field, it's the ideal place for Pikachu to live. For some reason, there's less natural predators or something, less humans. The Pikachus have kind of the Pikachu herd have found a nice home.
Yeah, and so Pikachu is watching them from atop a tree, but it falls into the river.
Well, a random Pikachu, right?
Yeah, one of the Pikachu from the big group.
Pikachu's listening in, yeah.
Yeah, and so Ash's Pikachu jumps into the river to try and save it, but he's not able to.
Now both Pikachus are caught in the currents, the wild.
They're going to go over the waterfall.
Yeah.
And so the group of Pikachu jump into action, creating a ladder by grabbing each other's tails.
This is cute as heck. Yeah,
it's amazing.
Pikachu chain that reaches in just in time, grabs the two Pikachus caught in the torrent, pulls them out of the river, all while chanting Pika, 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 Pikachu.
And so the group hails Ash's Pikachu as a hero.
Yeah, they're celebrating and eating apples, just like dancing and singing like Ewoks.
Throwing him on their shoulders. It's great.
Hip hip hooray, buddy.
And so Team Rocket wants to take them all, because since the forest is public property and they're members of the public, that means these Pikachu are their property.
Real geniuses.
Flawless logic. And then they promptly fall off the tree and get knocked out.
Get bonked on the head. Yep.
Classic Team Rocket. And then we see the Pikachu singing a song under the moon.
Yeah, so fast forward to
Aww.
nighttime. Pikachus are singing, swaying at the moon, moving their heads, and our Pikachu's fitting in nicely.
He is. He's found
Need
his
some friends.
Friends. It's just so wholesome and sweet.
Brock says something, and he's right, but he's not thinking about how Ash might take this. He says, best thing for Pikachu is to be with its own kind. And Ash gets kind of bummed out and introspective.
He gets very depressed again. He's getting depressed a lot.
Yeah, little things set him off, and he starts thinking. He's such a passionate fellow. And they're sitting around a campfire having this discussion, and Brock, like Misty's like, that was a great meal, and Brock's like, I know, I'm a great cook. Okay. And Misty's like, well, it's probably because the vegetables are really good here, but the food that Ash is holding just looks like a can of beans.
It's just a can of something, yeah. Just
He's just eating canned beans. Yeah, really great cook, Brock.
Did Brock add something?
You can heat up beans.
What?
I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense. But what does in this show? Nothing.
What does in the show is how our hearts feel.
Yes, that's very true. Ash can't stop thinking about Pikachu and the group of Pikachu. And then they hear screams coming from the distance. All the Pikachu are trapped under a net.
Damn.
Who could it be? Who could have done this?
Who uses nets and appears in every episode?
Get your prediction in the comments.
Well, Misty
and
says,
now that you've done that,
who could have done this? Okay.
And now that you have your predictions in, let's reveal who the culprit is here. It's Team Rocket.
Former Vice President Dick Cheney.
Al Gore.
Al Gore wouldn't catch a Pikachu.
That's what makes it a twist.
Oh, that was the plan all along.
So yeah, it's Team Rocket. Surprise, surprise. They want to thank their fans for their support in this triumphant time, in this victory. And Misty tries to get Pikachu to do a shock to break the net. But they thought of this. It's a Pikachu insulated seizure net.
Yeah, not only that, it's created with environmentally safe materials. And Brock goes, very thoughtful of you.
Very thoughtful.
like deadpan serious. He's like, that was good one, Team Rocket.
Well, at least you did that.
At least you did that.
And they shoot a net at the gang. Say, why don't you check out our website?
Yeah, and the puns go nuts here. So they fire off the classic Meowth balloon. They're carrying like the 50 Pikachu away, and Meowth calls it a Pika-palooza.
And they gotta take a Pika our powers.
Chew can say that again.
Wow.
Buh.
Wow. How many, here's my question, how many of these Meowth balloons does Team Rocket have?
Yeah, are they like patching it up? Do they just get tons of them?
I don't see patches on them, so I assume it's a new balloon every time.
And are they something that the Team Rocket organization uses, or is it just a Jesse and James thing?
Who knows? We might
curious.
see when we see more Team Rocket members in the future. But
I'm curious about how the Pokemon world organizes itself, and I'm also curious about how Team Rocket organizes itself. Quite the organization. They do weird stuff.
So the Pikachu start chewing through the net instead of being able to shock it. They chew
through it. Yeah, I like that.
It.
They're like, we've designed the perfect net. It cannot be shocked through. We'll catch all of these rodents in a net. And we won't think about the fact that they have sharp teeth. Yeah.
So they break free from the net. The gang has also broken free from the net. And they're holding out their net for all the Pikachu to jump out. Well, Ash's Pikachu bounces around around Team Rocket.
Hooray!
To distract them. And I loved this animation of the Pikachu all jumping out of the net, because it's just this still image of a bunch of Pikachu, and then one by one a Pikachu like comes out from the middle of them, and it's just all these other Pikachu just standing there, dead-eyed.
Work smarter, not harder.
Doing nothing. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so they do get off. There's one Pikachu left, which is probably our Pikachu, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Jumps on the balloon, chews a hole. Team Rocket's gone.
Yeah, they go blasting off again. And then Pikachu, once he's arrived back at the ground, he flies into Ash's arms and then goes to the group to celebrate.
Yeah, victory chant.
And then Ash gets real depressed again and walks away. He's going to leave Pikachu behind.
Yeah, suddenly the Guts theme from Berserk starts playing, and I know you won't get that, but someone might.
No, I
and
won't.
Starts gazing into the distance.
Well, Pikachu comes back to Ash, and Ash says goodbye and walks off, and Pikachu tries to follow him, and Ash runs away, and then we get a nice flashback sequence with an actual
the
song.
ultimate song ever. This like 80s power ballad kicks in. It sounds like it's the same singer as the opening song. I don't know if it is, but it sounds like it, doesn't it?
Maybe. I didn't really pay attention to the actual voice.
You didn't pay attention to the song? Dude, this song's
voice.
Incredible. It's an 80s power ballad. It's so tacky over the top. It's beautiful. And it's a breakup song. It's like, the time has come. It's for the best. We have to say goodbye. That's not the melody at all, but those are some of the lyrics.
So, yeah, this song is to this whole flashback sequence of all the times, all the good times.
And then they get to reuse
together.
like 2 minutes of animation.
Yeah, it's very sad, but it's also very budget friendly.
Well, they spend the money on that badass song.
Yeah. Brock and Misty catch up to him after the whole flashback sequence. Ash thinks Pikachu will be happier here. It is a good character moment because he is really trying to think about what's best for Pikachu.
Yep, he's trying to put the other person ahead of himself.
Pikachu knows what's best for Pikachu.
Pikachu's got to choose, and I think in Pikachu's head, he's like, look, I really liked meeting other Pikachus, and I liked experiencing this, but I want to be part of the adventure. Like, like that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. So he makes a decision for himself to keep on traveling with Ash, and the group of Pikachu wish him a fond farewell as he rejoins the gang.
Very nice, very nice. And I am hoping we pull music for this so I can give it a 10.
Well, you're at the will of the four poor, so I don't.
The will of the poor times 4.
Never hope for anything from the four poor because it's not going to happen. Probably.
Well, to get there, we have to make it over Literary Hour Hill before we can coast to the four poor.
Roll with that. Let's roll into that.
Yeah, so are you familiar with the 1897 play by Edmond Rostand, Cyrano de Bergerac?
No.
Really, you're not?
No.
I feel like you might be once I explain the plot. So Cyrano is a poet and an excellent writer, full of heart. He has a really big nose, and he's super self-conscious about his big nose. He's in love with this woman named Roxanne, but he sort of has this thought that she would be happier with someone better looking than himself. So he writes her letters, but as this other person, as Christian, who's another person vying for his love. She falls madly in love with Christian under the guise of being Cyrano. And he does it, and then on Cyrano's deathbed, he kind of reveals his love. But I don't know if he ever explains that he was the writer all along. But he was doing that. He was like thinking that she would be better off without him, and orchestrating this to happen. When would she? It's courtly love stories are fairly sexist in that way. Is that the woman is like almost treated like an object, and her autonomy isn't brought up into it. And it makes it seem like Cyrano's being selfless. He's thinking of her, and maybe he is, but like people can make their own decisions, and that's kind of what we see here too. Is that sort of thought cycle of Ash putting Pikachu's feelings ahead of his own in his head. But the more sincere way of doing that is to have an honest conversation.
How deep?
Really, you're not familiar with Cyrano?
No.
Oh my god. Read a book.
No, never.
Play a game.
That'll do.
Okay.
All right, four poor time?
Yeah, let's get music.
Well, let's see here. Our first category will be Misty's exasperation.
I don't think she's exasperated.
Not really, no.
We gotta calm Pikachu. Like, the only Misty moment is when she goes, watch out for that tree.
So, 1.
She's not exasperated, a 1. God damn it.
All right, in category 2, the power of friendship.
Oh, it's a good friendship.
It's a very good power of friendship.
It's a friendship episode. 8.
All the Pikachu are friends, and they all save each other.
And Ash and Pikachu's bond is at the center of this.
I would say 9. I'm going to say 9. So you say 8.
Yeah,
9.
so 8.5.
8.5 plus 1
1.
divided by 2.
So
9.5
divided by 2.
is 4.75? I want to say?
Yeah, it is.
4.75 for one of the more iconic episodes of the anime.
Yeah, but if we'd drawn music, it could hang out at 10.
Well, if we drew a third category, let's see what it would have been. No, it would have been character of the day. So.
Okay, pull another.
Well,
how long does it take for us to
soundtrack?
Get
You would have taken 4.
Well, the 4-pour has spoken.
Yeah, the 4-pour is never wrong.
And it basically just flipped the bird.
Gave
a big fuck you to Goodbye Pikachu.
Those were the categories we were destined to talk about today. So.
Yeah, Destiny's at the core of Pokemon anime, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's it for today.
Heck yeah. What are we doing next time?
Well, I already talked about it a little bit, but next time we are going to be looking at the Snow Christmas episodes. It's Holiday Hijinks and Snow Way Out. And Holiday Hijinks, I've been calling it a banned episode. It was kind of removed from rotation, semi-banned. Yeah. It is still banned in North America, I think.
Because of Jinx, right?
Yeah. And we'll talk more about Jinx when we get to that episode, but it's interesting.
It's Christmas in summer, folks.
Yep. Yeah, these are the 2 episodes that were kind of pulled after the Porygon incident and re-aired at a later date for whatever reason. I think because it was supposed to be, like, the original scheduling would have had them kind of around the time they were supposed to do, but 4 months threw that off, and they wanted to air it as a special episode then.
Okay.
So,
interesting.
So it creates some continuity errors if you watch it in the original Japanese airing order, but if you watch it in the intended airing order, then it works out properly.
Okay, sounds good. We'll be diving into those next time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's To Kill a Delibird. Please shout us out in the comments on YouTube. That's the Skittlewickers channel.
Subject to change.
We also have, we're on all of the major podcast platforms. Anywhere you can download good podcasts, you'll be able to find us. And probably some places you can download bad ones too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Leave us a review. Set your podcast auto download. Really helps the channel. Intro and outro music is 80s Synthwave by Alexi Action. Anything else, Kellan?
I'm gonna go get KFC.
Thanks for listening. We've been TKAD. You've been the audience. Make sure to be well nourished. See ya.
All right, cool.
Are you actually gonna go get KFC?
Yeah, probably.